I'm going to give you 5 exercise contrast style training to help you increase your vertical right now.
How we do it in the shop on the west side where we always keep it pimpin'.
Welcome to the show. I'm Coach Up, real talk from the shot all the way to the H. We're going to touch everything that's going to help you be a better built athlete starting right now. What up? It's your boy, Coach Dash, your host to I'm Coached Up, Real Talk podcast. Listen up. We're going to be sharing exercises that are going to help you get the most out of your athleticism in the shortest period of time. With my 20 years of experience, I've narrowed down 4 to 5 basic exercises that are usually overlooked. And with that being said, these exercises are the building blocks to overall performance and athleticism. So get your pen and paper and take notes. And before I forget, tap the like button, follow, share, turn on the notification so you can get more updates about being a better built athlete with the Dash program and Coach Dash. Exercise number 1 is going to be your old faithful traditional squat. The basic squat is probably the building block to ultimate power. A lot of you know that, but you don't understand how to add that into your workout to best get the power you need to be more explosive. And with that being said, even if you can't do the traditional squat, goblet squat, front squats, and utilize those exercises. Sometimes we get under the squat rack or front squats and we go too heavy. And you got to remember, the ultimate goal is to generate force output. So you want to be able to move the weight as fast as possible, almost jumping. Now, again, you want to have more power coming out of your squat, out of your legs to get the most out of your athleticism, not only be a better jumper or sprinter, but you want to make sure you have enough weight on the rack to either help you with ultimate power as well as resistance in the exercises to generate the power you need to help you become a better built athlete quicker. Now, with that being said, I'm 230 pounds. So my minimum start weight will probably be about 230 pounds on the squat rack because I have to be able to move my body weight as fast as possible. So when you're training this method, it's just my philosophy. And I've had several athletes see ultimate results in a short amount of time using this concept is that I start with your body weight. And you want to be able to move that weight as fast as possible from the low position, 90 degrees or full range of motion, and up as fast as possible. Sometimes with carbon, I have to chase the number. I got to squat heavy, which is nothing wrong with that. But when you're moving the weight that slow, it doesn't transfer over to explosive power. It just transfers over to pure power. We're not training for pure power. We're looking for explosive power. So I usually start at my body weight and I use a tempo and I have to move the weight as fast as possible from the low position up as fast as I can. And when I'm starting to go too slow and it's taking me too long to get up, I realize that the weight's too heavy. Now I pair that with a superset of box jumps. Yes, box jumps. So I go from the squat rack to the box jump. That's exercise 1. Exercise number 2 is going to be your old traditional hang clean or power clean. Now this is triple extension. This exercise is probably the most overlooked and not trained in most programs, even in personal training or even at the high school level. The Olympic lift, the power clean or the hang clean is so similar to the jumping movement with the triple extension from your knee angle, ankle, hips. All that is the same movement you use when you go to jump or you sprinting from a block and pushing forward. That's why the hang clean and the power clean are so effective. But again, a lot of people don't know how to teach it. So they don't, how can I say it? They don't use it and say, oh, it's not that effective or whatever. It's because they can't teach it. So they choose to steer away from it. When you're steering away from one of the best exercises that's going to help you become a better built athlete. And if you plan to play next level, this is one exercise you need to learn how to do because every college program uses power clean or hang clean as some form to help with ultimate explosive power. not just pure power, explosive power. It's a difference. Now, like I said, I superset all my exercises with a similar movement. So with the hang clean, power clean, we're going to superset that with a kettlebell swing. Not too heavy, but heavy enough where you can move the weight as fast as possible. Again, we want to generate force, speed. The way we jump, the way we move is all explosive. So you have to be able to pick a weight that's heavy enough, but not too heavy that where your form is compromised. Now to exercise number 3. Exercise number 3 is going to be Old Faithful single leg squat. Some people call it the Bulgarian split squat, but there's nothing Bulgarian about it. The split squat is probably one of the most underrated exercises and overlooked for pure power and speed development and overall better athleticism. Every athlete I put on my program and they started doing single leg squats, they improve their vertical, their speed output, and their overall athleticism in a matter of weeks. When I say weeks, well, I'm saying within a month, because this exercise here is very specific to balance from not only your core, your hips, your knee, ankle. It helps you control the weight and balance the weight on one leg. The stronger you get on one leg, just use common sense, you become a better athlete on 2. Every sport I know is always going to have an imbalance of one leg in front of the other, offset, whatever. With traditional squatting, you're always going to be like this, feet side by side. And that doesn't ultimately transfer over to your sport. The sports I play with all balanced stagger stances. So you need to start training your body to be used to those positions. That way, when you go out there and perform, you can perform at a high level. So with that being said, the split stance, not split stance, but single leg squat is probably the number one exercise that I would use as far as an exercise in the weight room lifting that would simulate something you do in your sport. No matter what sport it is, it's going to transfer over directly quick. Now, with choices of weight, again, I start with 50% of my body weight on a split squat with a real foot elevated, and I work my way up to my body weight. Again, it's all about how fast you can move the weight from the low position up. Now, the trick is to control the weight going down, eccentric, and come up as fast as possible. So don't get a heavier weight and start going down fast and then, generating force and bouncing off the bottom if you're having a pad. Control the way down, but then explode it up go up as fast as you can. That's the only way you can learn how to transfer this over like instant to your athletic sport. With that being said, the superset with this is going to be basic split stance jumps, split squat or split jumps. You already know what that is. Feet split apart, maybe no more than 12 inches, and you're just jumping as high as you can, body weight only. I prefer to put the front foot elevated when I do that as a superset paired with the single leg rear foot elevated squat. I try to put my athletes on an elevated box, 3 to 4 inches, maybe even 6, with the front foot elevated, and they do split stance jumps, body weight only, and jump as high as they can. Now, exercise number 4 is going to be your traditional trap bar or dumbbell squat jumps. Here's where it gets tricky. Some people load the bar up too heavy. Again, we're looking for force generated, force output, not pure power. Now, again, you can train this way, but I want the weight heavy enough to where you can do jumps, but not too heavy where you're not getting off the ground quick as possible. And when you land, your eccentric load, you have to absorb the force and generate force. So you're not just landing and going all the way down and coming back up. You're absorbing it up and getting off the ground quick as possible. So trap bar and dumbbell squat jumps. Pick the right weight. And again, the superset is going to be just your good old traditional standing vertical jump, or I always say tuck jumps. Anything where you're getting off the ground high as you can, and when you land, you're generating that force getting up off the ground. This is going to help you generate and teach that body to move fast So it translates quicker to the field or court or whatever sport you're playing, or even the track. Now, exercise number 5. Exercise number 5 is one of the most forgotten muscles on every athlete, other than maybe football. Football athletes tend to work this muscle most of the time in their normal workouts, but every other sport tends to forget about it. And that's going to be your hamstrings. Hamstrings, hamstrings, hamstrings. You have to train your hamstrings because this is a key component to ultimate athleticism. Yes, if you had to pick an exercise, say just 2, I would go with split squats or single leg squats and hamstring curls. Some type of hamstring exercise. RDLs, Nordic, or glute bridges, something to generate force from the hamstrings. You have to work your hamstring. This is the biggest muscle on your body, and most sports do not train them directly. You have to isolate those muscles, that particular muscle, the hamstring, and work it. The more balance you have in your legs, it will then transfer over to pure power and explosiveness. Don't forget your hamstrings. You have to train them. I don't know how to reiterate this because all my athletes, we train hamstrings, either from the Nordic hamstring curl. We do a lot of RDLs. We do a lot of glute bridges. We have to train the posterior chain. As an athlete, to be a better built athlete, you have to get away from all this nonsense out there about how much can I lift, chase the number, and start looking at the sport you play and how to become a better athlete within the sport. Other than just playing, how can you take that to the weight room? And there's so many ways. You have resistance trainers with bands, you have free weights. Combine the two and use these 5 exercises that I consider to be the best 5 exercises. If I had to choose 5 exercises to do as an athlete, as far as to get more explosive and be more athletic, these would be my 5 exercises. Now, if you want to know more about the upper body, the total body, follow my page and we'll get to that. Anyway, that's the end of this show. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Coach Dash, your host. This is my podcast.
On the west side.